Welcome back, everyone. Great to be here with you. As always, love being able to tackle our Cabral HouseCalls each and every weekend. I actually haven't even opened up the document for today. So let me do that. Let me find the right show. Today is episode 3222. So you can head on over to stephencabral.com/3222 if you'd like to read along with the questions. I have no doubt we're going to get to at least 5 to maybe 6 questions here today. I just like to keep the show to about 15 minutes. So hopefully it's a daily listen, easy to listen to on your commute or just on a walk. And because the goal is this, the goal isn't to try to teach everything in one day. It, of course, is to build off all of this information each and every day. So hopefully the show is helpful. If you wouldn't mind leaving a review for the new year, that would be greatly appreciated. Always our goal and our mission is to bring this free information to as many people as possible in the world. That is the goal. And the more people who review the show, the better. And of course, like, subscribe on YouTube if you're watching there as well. All right, let's dive in. Episode 3222. And we'll start with Erica. Erica says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I wanted to ask about hair loss. I have a female friend in her 30s who is starting to wake up with a lot of hair on her pillow and on her bed after sleeping. Where would you start to look for the underlying root cause of this?" Great question. So I have a whole page because everybody comes into our community at different times, but I have a page called stephencabral.com/hair-loss. Yes. So it literally, the title of the page is everything you ever wanted to know about how to stop hair loss and regrow your hair. And it also goes through my personal hair loss journey. I lost over 2/3, like 60% of the hair on the top of my head. It was crazy. Now, many men lose their hair. They do. And I'm okay with that. I really am. But not when it happens like all in a month. Like you're just not ready for it, right? And so what I did was I said, okay, like work on yourself as if you were a client and let's just go. And so I researched and went over everything. I put a few photos up on the page. I have even crazier ones. Like I've got ones that look like literally a comb over on the top. I couldn't believe it. Like it blew my mind. And so anyway, all of that's there. I take you through the 7 main reasons on the page: high stress and cortisol, high or low estrogen, low thyroid, high testosterone, PCOS, nutrient deficiencies, and inflammation. So I go through all of the different items. I link up free podcasts. Then I go through tests that you can use. Then I go through all of the different things that I did as well. And again, I'm just very grateful, very fortunate, but I was able to regrow all of the hair on the top of my head. And so that page has it all. It's literally all right there. And you can do with it whatever you'd like. So it's all at stephencabral.com/hair-loss. All right. Next question. Patrick is up next. "Hey, Dr. Cabral, huge fan. Thanks so much for all you and your team do." Thank you, Patrick. We appreciate that. "I have another elbow question for you." Oh, this must be maybe from yesterday because we had someone ask about elbows yesterday. Yes, it was Patrick. All right. So I have another elbow question for you. I went and got an x-ray and it showed I have some osteophytes and I have some snapping elbow, which is affecting my range of motion. Of course, all they said was cortisone shots and pills. I'm very active and enjoy exercising. So I'd love to know the very best therapy and supplements that you do. Okay. So again, can't provide any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis, but I've had injuries since I was 17, 18 years old. I've torn my Achilles. I've torn my rotator cuff multiple times. I severely injured my lower back and my cervical vertebrae on 2 different occasions. And then I hairline fractured my wrist. And then the one before that was a torn labrum in my shoulder. And then I had an ulnar nerve impingement. All of them were fixed non-surgically. Now, the Achilles, I do have to say, is a little bit different. It did not tear at the bottom calcaneus heel cord. It split up the middle. So I ended up doing 6 months of rehab. That was the end of my running career. Well, again, I didn't have a running career. I was just a decent runner, but that was in high school. But now I'm getting back into it. I did a lot of rehab for it. Anyway, I don't want to go through my issues because we're talking about you. So what I'm saying is this, that, if I tore off my Achilles tendon, yeah, I'd have to have that surgically repaired. But a lot of things don't need to. Here's what I've done now to help me out a lot. Many mornings, I take proteolytic enzymes. So I do 2 proteolytic enzymes on an empty stomach upon waking. And for me, this has been extremely helpful with that inflammation. I use 3 of the Inflammasoothe every day. And I also do 2 of the Cell Boost, but that's more for energy and mitochondria. Okay, I take 2 to 3 grams of the daily omega-3 support every single day. I use the daily nutritional support and the collagen as well for joints and all of that. And there are other things that I do, but that's basically it. I use zinc as well, so I take zinc at dinner. And that helps a lot. I get a lot of glutamine, but I get that. I use healthy gut support 2 to 3 months, at least once a year. And then I don't supplement separately because I get it. I mean, I don't get high protein considered, what a lot of people consider high protein, but I get enough protein on a daily basis. And then I also work on my recovery. So I'm doing sauna, I'm doing foam rolling. I just started cold plunges 3 times a week post run. So hopefully that's helpful. All right. Patrick, if there's other more specific ones, happy to help. Just write back in. Happy to help. All right. Montas is up next. Hi, Dr. Bral. Thanks so much for this life-saving information you provide in order to take our health. Appreciate you, Montas. For the past 5 years, I've been suffering with a lot of back pain, joint pain in all parts of my body. I went from doctor to doctor. They can't really help me, and it's obvious because they didn't train to go to the root cause of a symptomatic disease. I've been diagnosed with TB. I'm assuming, I don't know if you mean tuberculosis, but that where my mind's at right now is tuberculosis, and spent 6 months for the treatment. But after 1 year, this left me with more diseases. Oh, okay. I understand. I sweat a lot at night. I have noises in my stomach. Oh, now it's all making sense. Yes. I strangely lose pounds instead of gaining. What's the first lab you recommend? I can't afford the big 5. Thank you. Yeah, I know exactly. Okay. Yeah. Cause again, we have now worked with not one-on-one calls. That's well over 250,000 people, one-on-one appointments, but we've now worked with over 500,000 lab clients. So we have a lot of data. What happens is, so people don't know what so basically when you have tuberculosis, most people are given 6 months of antibiotics. So for lungs, infection in the lungs, and they're given cortisone steroid shots. Okay. This absolutely, in many people, leads to leaky gut, candida overgrowth, and potentially SIBO. So now Montas is basically saying, yeah, I have that. I get gurgling in my stomach. I get bloating. I get digestive issues. And I'm not absorbing my nutrients, which is why I'm probably losing weight. Okay, so here's what I recommend. Can't afford all the big 5. Totally get it. Just keep in mind, I don't know when you're listening to this, but we run one discount sale a year on the big 5, and it's every early December and then every end of July, something like that. And so you can check that out if it's happening right now, if we just happen to be at the same time. All right. But let's say you can only do 2. It's called the starter kit, AKA the vitamin tox test. That is the one I recommend. It's going to look at your gut health. It's also going to look at heavy metals. It's going to look at your vitamin levels and your mineral levels. That is where I would start. All right. So that is the right test for you at less than half the price of the big 5. You can get those 2 labs. Okay. Laura's up next. Hi, Dr. Bral. And by the way, I just want to let you know, Montas, all of that is fixable. All of that is fixable. The inflammation you get right now from all the digestive issues you have is all fixable. It will decrease your rain barrel. Read the rain barrel effect if you haven't already. It's free at stephencabral.com. You're going to be able to fix this. No doubt about it. I know where you're coming from. I was there. You'll be able to fix this. All right. And again, it's just not overnight. The CBO protocol that you'll most likely do with the citruscytal drops is 12 weeks. You'll do the CBO finisher. You're going to be able to knock this out of the park. All right, Laura's up next. Hi, Dr. Bral. I'm wondering if any of the following contradictory information is true. You have to be taking magnesium and zinc for better absorption, and the other is don't take them together because zinc can block magnesium absorption. I found the same for iron and calcium. They should be taken 4 hours away from magnesium so they don't block its absorption. Please clarify so we know how to properly take these supplements. Thank you so much. Happy healing, everyone. Lara, great question. Okay. So like anything, there is truth to this, right? So the problem with, I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I definitely hate it more than I love it. I love it because I get to reach people I never would. Like I just would not be able to. And I get to connect with all of you and I get to connect with the IHP community. I love that. But there's just so much negativity and like, my way is the best way. You don't know what you're talking about. Like people just get, just wild. They get wild online. And there's no need for it because like can zinc block magnesium? The answer is yes. How much zinc do you need to take in order to block magnesium? Well, it's at least 100 milligrams a day. And most studies is 140 plus milligrams a day of zinc. That is an enormous amount of zinc. Okay, the average human should not take more than 50 milligrams of combined zinc per day from supplementation. That's what we recommend. 75 to 100 milligrams when they have a virus or issue. But again, I can't provide any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis. So I'll just talk about me personally. When I get a cold or virus, I take 50 milligrams on top of that. So basically, I get about 75 milligrams when I'm not feeling well. Still not at 100, right? So again, there's truth to it, but only if you're way overdoing it. Now, why do some people take zinc with magnesium? Because they're both parasympathetic, anti-catabolic, anabolic, recovery-based minerals. And that's why they're great to take at dinner time together. So yes, they can absolutely be taken together. And there's actually great studies on zinc and magnesium used together to induce better sleep. I've been using it for 20 years. I'm meaning like in our practice, like I've got the data, it works. Okay. Iron and calcium, again, here's the issue. Most people aren't taking iron in the first place, right? Some people are. We have people in our practice, no doubt about it. Yeah, they're taking iron. No doubt about it. Completely agree. Okay. So if you want to absorb more calcium, if you want to absorb more iron, you take more vitamin C. Right? Like that also helps. So we can have these conversations about everything. I'm going to be doing a podcast. Some people say never take vitamin C near a workout. Okay. Yeah, true. If you're taking like 1.5 grams, right? But like our bodies are meant to get these things. So there's no reason why you can't take calcium and iron together. But if you are mega dosing. So again, some doctors give their patients 1,500 milligrams of calcium all at once. Okay. Well, don't take your iron at the same time as that. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, Lara. Hopefully that was helpful. We don't megadose any one mineral or vitamin. And so in our practice, we don't need to ever worry about these types of things. All right. And there's so much of that. People used to say, you can't take your glutamine and creatine together. Okay. Well, let's look at the biochemical pathway. They're not on the same pathway and they don't compete, right? So it's like, these things just don't matter. Most things actually work really well as synergies and they work well together, unless one is so far pushing down the lever on this side that it throws off the other. And that can happen, no doubt about it. All right. Anne's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you for all you do. I have a quick question. Now that I'm 70, and I'm going to write 70 years young, I have bunions that are starting to bother me. I've had them for years now, but I'm heavy into pickleball and they're starting to hurt. I see non-invasive bunion fixes, and I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on those. Are they worth it or just a scam? So this is something that I have to say, like, I'm not an expert in. I actually don't know what the non-invasive bunion fixes are. And so every once in a while, I have to just let you know, like, this is not an area of expertise. And I actually don't know what those fixes are, because typically they do need to be surgically removed because that bone has begun to calcify and become thickened. So here's the thing though, I reach out to the community. If you know about non-invasive bunion fixes and you've had one done, post it inside of cabralsupportgroup.com, let Ann know, and post it in the comments here today on Instagram, Facebook, and or YouTube. And that would be really helpful. All right. We appreciate you. All right. Audrey's up next. Hello. Appreciate all your insight, your wealth of knowledge. Thank you, Audrey. I'm a 32-year-old that has had idiopathic thrombocytopenia since I was 5 years old. Just wondering what labs you recommend to improve these numbers. Okay, we've actually talked about this a number of times, and I definitely recommend always going to stephencabral.com/podcast and just typing in thrombocytopenia, and you'll be able to see that. So this is basically, it's low platelet counts and a potential increased risk of bleeding. So what we do is we say, okay, there may be a genetic component to this, no doubt about it, but what else do we need to look at? We need to really look at higher levels of inflammation in the body. So right away, I'm going obviously at the big five, because that's what we do for every functional medicine, integrative health client in our practice if they're able to do it, right? So it comes with a 90-minute call. It comes with a private wellness plan, personalized, everything, all the good stuff, right? It's all there. But for others, if you can't, I'm going to go in order of importance. So my order of importance is the vitamin tox test. So that's starter kit. That's stephencabral.com/starter-kit, or all the labs are just at stephencabral.com/shop. That takes you over to everything there. Because we want to, no matter what, inflammation is going to make this worse. And so that's really important that we look at that. And then we want to understand that we might have to be more careful. Again, I can't give medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, but we have to be more careful then with higher doses of omega-3s, because they can act as a blood thinner. Higher doses of things like capsaicin, which is like pepper. So that could thin out the blood. What's the one? Cayenne. It's from cayenne peppers. So they actually make cayenne capsules. So anything that could be a blood thinner, we just want to be cognizant of, because this might not be the right recommendation for you. And so obviously you would tell your practitioner that, and we would look at that. So starter kit's going to look at gut health. It's going to look at heavy metals. So 2 toxicities right there. That could be an issue. And then it's going to look at your vitamin levels and mineral levels, because we want to balance those out. Then we're going to add in the de-stress protocol. We might do the functional medicine detox for 7 to 21 days. We're going to add back in walking. So if you haven't read the Rain Barrel Effect yet, it's the best place to start. It's also free. You just pay shipping. I pay to print the book. I literally pay to print the book. You can find that at stephencabral.com. And that's how I get started with this specifically. Now, if you can run other labs on top, of course, we would look at hormones and other items like that in terms of stress, but we're really fixing everything we can lifestyle-wise, and you get so much out of that to help combat the fatigue, and sometimes people get bruising or nosebleeds or other things along with this. So hopefully that's helpful. And there's obviously varying degrees as well as how much it is affecting you. All right. Hopefully that's helpful. Let's see. How many questions have we answered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're at 17 minutes. So that is our show for today, but I will be back each and every weekend answering our community's questions. And tomorrow I'll be back with our Mindset and Motivation Monday. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Take care. I'll talk with you tomorrow on the Cabral Concept. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.